How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. And today, we got another roll video. This one's a request video from Zachary Zabayle. I'm not sure if I'm saying your last name right. Zachary Zabayle. You wanted to see AK-47s. You wanted to see AK-47 folders. So that's what this roll has inside of it. So let's go ahead and open it up and let's get this party started. Today's Wednesday. All right. Got some in here I haven't seen in a long time. Sitting here looking at them all. Okay, so we got AK-47s. I think these were the Golden Eyes. And I can't remember what the Con. And we got my Mustang Broken Skull? Yeah, Broken Skull. Steve Austin Broken Skull. And this one's a light. I think it's a Tonto light. And that's a Juno. What you doing, Juno? Coming to the show? So you can see yourself on TV tonight? That's my girl. That's my girl. That's a grandpa girl. Yeah? That's my sweetie. All right, kiddo. Time for you to get down. You gonna let me do the video? Everybody wants to see these knives. Zachary wants to see the AK-47, sweetie. You can't see them if you're sitting on them. All right, kiddo, come on. All right. That's my girl. All right, sweetie. All right, so let me flip this around. Let's go ahead and start pulling them out. I think I have all generations of the AK-47s. I haven't bought any in a while. I don't think I have any new ones that are from the new Cold Steel. All of mine from the old Cold Steel company, but I have like the original models too. The ones before the Triad. Whereas like in the Recon 1 series, they also had some like these before they made the Triad lock ones. I forget what they called that type of lock, but it's an Axis style lock. And that's the kind of lock that Cold Steel used to have for the Recon 1s and the AK-47s. Now, I wasn't planning on doing any more roll videos, but I got a request. This is a request. I told Zachary I'd put it out for him today. I had a very busy day today, so I'm getting started late. These are my other Recons I was telling you guys about that I have. I also have another American Lawman that's actually I have two more American Lawmen that are being used. So I have two more other than the ones that you see here. One's a CTS 6HP, the other one that I have, and the other one is it's a new one. It's a S35VN one. One has hollow ground and the other one has a flat ground. All right, that's all the ones that are in this roll. Let's go ahead and set this out the way. All right, let's get them all organized here, huh? Okay, these are the American Lawman. I'm gonna do these down the middle. Let's put the old ones first, huh? We'll do the old ones first. And let me see, put them in order. Just a newer one. This was the first one I bought. This was the one I bought to collect. CTS 6HP and CTS 6HP. Yeah, I don't have an S35VN one. Mine are either Oz 8 or CTS 6HP. I have 3 Oz 8 ones, or 4 Oz 8 ones, and 2 CTS 6HP. American Lawman, the Golden Eye. Recon. The Recon I carry. This is the newest one. All right, people. There's the row right there. All right, let's start off with the AK-47s, because that was the requested one for this video. These other ones are just the other knives that were in this roll. And we could go with these two, because these are my American Lawman. You know, this is where the American Lawmen are kept. And this is where this is a mini AK. And these are 3 of the, I guess they would call them, because they have it's not the micro Recon ones, it's the smaller, I think they call it a small Recon, or maybe it's a medium. It might be they may call these mediums. I think they have like 3.5-inch blades or 3-inch blades, something like that. But anyway, let's get this party started. Okay, let's start off with this one. I forget what they call these locks, because Cold Steel had a name for their axis lock too, or crossbar lock, should I say. And they work just like a regular axis lock. You just pull this back, the blade releases. So you can operate it with your fingers completely out the way. This was the lock that they had for the AK-47s and the Recon ones before they had the triad lock. The original AK-47s, this is one of them, and the Recon, as far as I know, first came with the triad, with not a triad lock, but this type of lock. And I forget what they call it, the name of this lock, people. I'm sorry. I used to know the name of it, but I've forgotten. This one had a hollow ground 3.5-inch blade. It had the Tough X finish. This one's always been a collector. Never been carried. So it's pretty close to mint. Any marks on it that might have is just from storage. Delete that one out. And they had a G10 handles. These had G10 handles, and they had like a I don't know, I think it's like a Zytel or some type of polymer or whatever back spacer. That's one thing that people didn't like about these. They didn't like having the plastic back spacer. And that's why the next generation came out with the aluminum back spacer, the hardened aluminum back spacer, 6061 aluminum back spacer. That's the first one. And these had skeletonized full stainless steel liners. The G10 is just like a cover, sort of like the 80-20.5. You know how they have the cover that goes over the stainless steel liner? This one's made that way. So that it has a full stainless steel liner. I don't know if you can see that. And it's skeletonized, fully skeletonized. It's not a very heavy knife. We'll weigh them out here in a minute. This one was the one that had the, I think it's aluminum handle scales. I think these are aluminum. And it's got the stainless steel liners also, just like an 80-20.5 with the polymer back spacer or Zytel. I think it was Zytel back then. I'm not sure. And their axis style crossbar lock. This was what they called a bead blast finish, I think. These are the two ways that they came. You can either get them like this one, or you can get like the G10 one. Those were your two choices. Now these were the next models that came out, and this was the one that I used to carry all the time. You can see I took the finish off of it. Without the Tough-X finish, it has like a stonewash finish underneath it. Had G10 handle scales, and this one has a 6061 heat-treated aluminum backspacer. This was the nicer one, if you ask me. This model, this one, actually I like the one with the CTS 6HP the best. The S35VN one would be really nice too nowadays. I like S35VN also. But this is one that I used to carry when I used to carry these. And the reason why I stopped carrying them because I used to carry this one and the Recons were like the ones I carried at this time, and then they came out with the Tau Wars. And when they came out with the Tau Wars sort of took this one's place. The medium-sized Tau War, the large-sized Tau Wars. The one with the 4-inch blade. I like that better than the 3.5-inch blade. I just like the Tau War better, period. But this is a great knife too, though. You know, it's all about a matter of preference of what you like. Just because I like something doesn't mean that it's better or worse or anything like that. It's just what I prefer. And all of us have our own different preferences. So just don't think, when you hear me say I like this one better than this one, doesn't mean that it is better than this one. That's just my personal preference. You may find this one to be your favorite, which is perfectly fine. G10 handle scales, because they're all excellent knives. All these old Cold Steel Triad folders, the original models, they're all excellent knives. I would highly recommend all of them. I think they're all far superior as far as their lock strength. You know, for a knife that, if you want a knife for self-defense and a utility knife, that, you know, a knife that could do both things very well, that's what this is. This one feels really good in hand. I've always liked the way, you know, this like grips my hand, sort of like the Spartan handle. So it feels like your hand's really securely locked in when you're holding this. And I think that's important in a dire situation. You know, you want to make sure you have a good grip. That's one of the most important things. This one has an excellent grip. This one has CTS XHP coating. And let me wipe it off a little bit for you guys. With the hollow ground blade. At this time, I just basically collected them. This knife I never really carried. I might have carried maybe once or twice or something like that. But this is the Oz 8A one. I'm sorry, people. This is the Oz 8A one with a Tough-X finish. This was a collector. This was the user, and this was the collector. I'm sorry, people. Sorry about that. Got that mixed up there. I had to straighten it out for you because I see this. These are my two CTX XHP ones. They all have hollow ground blades. They're all exactly the same. The only thing that's different from the second generation is the blade steels. Blade steels and finishes. The first ones, the Oz 8 ones, had the crappy, I should say that word, but I shouldn't say that word either, but the funk, well, yeah, it was funky. The funky Tough-X finish. And the knives, you know, once you start using it, they would scratch up really quick. It was just like sprayed on paint or something. It came out really easy. All you need is some quick clean or something like that you get at Home Depot or Lowe's or something, and it'd take it off right away. Take apart the knife, and then you set it in like a glass container, and you spray it on top of the finish, and then you take a metal, like a popsicle stick, and then scrape it off after it's been on there for like 10 or 15 minutes. You can start scraping it off. And when it gets all scraped off, the reason why I use like wood to scrape it off and not something that's metal, because metal will dig into the steel and scratch it. And if you don't want the finish that's underneath it to look all funky, you want it to look nice and nice like this, you need to use like a popsicle stick. So you do not scratch the underneath finish. You do not want to use something metal. I've seen people use metal things on YouTube. No, that's not the way you do it if you want your knife to come out looking right. A wooden popsicle stick won't scratch it. It scrapes just as good as anything else. CTS XHP, G10, and this was the last one I purchased. I think I purchased this one when they were not too long ago. I think I purchased it when they were going out of business, or not going out, when they sold the business, or maybe I got it before then. I can't remember. I know this was the last one I got. This is the newest one out of all of them. It's a CTS HP, also DLC coating, with the OD green G10 scales, 6061 heat treated backspacer, triad lock, excellent knife. All right, let's go into my well, we'll do these last, because the American Lawman is one of my favorite knives of all time. Let's go to the gold knives. Now, the gold knife I got to use, but I ended up not using it because, I don't know, I'm not really a person that likes gold finishes and stuff like that. Now they have this one with I think they call it the silver eye. That one looks cool to me. If I'd had the silver, because this is an excellent knife. It's a beautiful knife. It's just I didn't care for the gold finish. I thought it looked kind of gaudy. You know what I mean? Kind of, I don't know. You know me, people. I like OD green and black and silver blades. It doesn't have to be too complicated. You know, you don't have to try to get all fancy and stuff for me. You know, for me, I just I like knives that are users. You know, knives that are meant to be, you know, like used and stuff. I don't get into all the foo-foo stuff. And usually when I buy a knife, I see something on the internet, online or whatever, I see it and I say, whoa, that looks interesting, I'm going to try it out. And that's how come I have so many knives, because I've tried out everything I thought looked cool, or it looked like it would be a great knife. This is an excellent knife. These are excellent knives. They're not too heavy. This one's stiff because it's never been broken in. It's still like a brand new knife. Beautiful knives. Nice thick blades. I think it's a 3.5 millimeter blade stock. This one's the same thing. I got two of them because I thought I was going to carry one of these. I think I did carry one sort of for like a minute, but I didn't really use it or anything. And so it's basically a brand new knife. I can't even tell the difference between the one I carried and one I didn't carry. This one up here is a knife that I've carried a lot. And it's one of my favorite knives because I have a whole collection of Mustang pattern knives. And this is the one that I've always carried. And I used to carry it with my, it used to be the partner to my Recon 1 that's all snaggletooth out, the OD green Recon 1 with the DLC finish just like this one. That would be my front right pocket knife, and I would carry this one in my coat pocket, leather jacket, when I ride the bikes or whatever. Because I always like to carry two knives. I always try to make them match too. I like to color coordinate. All right, people. This one up here is my light. We call them air light. Air light, that's what it was called. Air light. I tried out the air light. I really like this knife, but the pocket clip just turned me off. That's the reason why I didn't carry it. I have carried this one a few times, you know, but I didn't carry it intensively. I just carried it for a little while, and then I stopped carrying it. I think the knife is an excellent knife. I just don't like this big, shiny pocket clip. I don't know why they use a big, shiny pocket clip on that. If this knife had a pocket clip that was more like one of these, like a black pocket clip, that's not so big and bogus, I think it'd be so much better. I don't know why they think that they have to have such a big pocket clip on a knife, especially if it's going to be polished. It's like a big billboard sign that says, "Look at me, I got a knife in my pocket." And I don't want anybody to know I have a knife in my pocket when I carry knives. I'm not trying to show off when I carry a knife or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You guys know more about the knives I have than just about anybody else on the planet. Because when I carry knives, I never pull them out. Unless I have to use them. I don't pull them out to be in front of other people or whatever. And when I'm at work fidgeting with knives, a lot of times I have a lot of alone time. And so that's when I fidget. It's one of the things I like to do when I fidget. This one's a nice knife. I don't think I carried this one that much either. But actually, I sort of like this one. It's a sweet little knife. I think I didn't carry this one because I was carrying the American Lawman, the mini Lawman. But another great knife, the Con. This one's an Oz 8 blade, I believe. This one's CTS 6HP. This one's Oz 10A. And these are S35EN. Is that right? Yep, S35EN. The two gold knives I have are S35EN. This one's CTS 6HP. And I also have a couple other more of these. They're in the Mustang roll. And this is the only one I have of these. This is Oz 10. This is Oz 8. Oz 8A. All right, here we go. This is one of my first knives for my American Lawman. I have a couple of these. The other one I have doesn't have a pocket clip on it. You guys have seen it. And that's the one I still use today. This is another one that I used to use back in the day all the time. This would be the one I'd carry in my pocket, and the other one I'd carry in my jacket pocket. Absolutely love the American Lawman. I think it's one of the greatest knives of all time. And I really like the first ones because they had the thicker scales. These have nice thick scales, as opposed to the thinner scales like they have on the modern versions, like this one. But this knife these knives are awesome knives. It's super strong. It can do everything. It's like a master of all trades. It could be a self-defense folder. It could be a utility knife. It can do all sorts of things. And they hold a nice edge. It's a great knife. Highly recommend these. I don't care if they're old or new. If they're Oz 8, CTS 6HP, or S35EN, they're all great to me. Okay, next one up will be the Collector. And these had, this is the Collector. This is the Oz 8 one. These had the Tough X finish. This is one that's never been used. It's original Oz 8 one. And they had a generation before these too, and they had metal liners. I don't know if they were aluminum or steel liners, but they had metal liners first. I never had one of those. I've always been trying to find one though. They're hard to find because I don't think they made them that long. And then they went to these. But the original ones of these, if I'm not mistaken, they had metal liners. Full liners, exposed liners. Under the G10 scales. That sounds like something Andrew Dimka would do too. So I totally believe that. So these are actually like the second generation ones. And then this is the newest generation, so I guess you got 3 generations of American Lawman. And this is the one with the thin scales. And this one, this is the S35EN one. This is one of the new ones. Oh, this is the one I used to carry. This is the one I carried. I can tell because I sharpened it. I changed the edge angle on it. S35EN one. And this one has the like a high flat ground or saber ground blade. I should be leaving these out, huh? All right, next one up. Now I think these are called either small or medium, because I know they have a micro size that's smaller than this. This looks like a 3-inch blade. This is one that I used to carry. It's been all polished. I've used this one a lot. It's been resharpened a lot. I don't know if you can tell. I've resharpened it a lot because some of the edges worn away on it. It's one of the knives I used to carry a lot. And this was the Collector. These are Oz 8. These are Oz 8. These are the original ones. G10 handle scales with Oz 8 steel. This one's the one that had Tough X finish. And this is the newer model. This is the Oz, CTS 6HP. Now they make these with Oz 10, I think it is. Because I think the last ones, they might have been an S35 VN one, I'm not sure. But the last one I purchased is this one, in this CTS 6HP version. And it has the thin scales. Hollow ground blade. And last but not least, the Mini AK. This is a great little knife. It actually fits your hand really nice too. You get a nice it's like about almost 4-finger grip. Just like a little bit just hanging off the end there. But if you go forward, then you definitely got it. But it's not really meant to be held like that, I don't think. It's like meant to be held like this. Excellent little knife. And this one I have set up for left pocket carry. This is a knife that I used to carry back in the day. All right. Well, there they are, people. Let's take some measurements. Make sure we got the blade lengths all right. This one's 3.5 for the Goldeneye. 3.5, and it's almost 8.5 inches long. This one is 9.25 with a 4.25 blade. This one is 8.25 with a 3.5 inch blade. We got 3-inch blade on the con. Total length is 7 inches. American Lawman, 8 inches. Blade, 3.25. 3.25, 8 inches, 8 inches, 7 inches. And the blade, 2.75. Blade, 2.75, yep. I thought it was a 3-inch blade, 2.75. 7 inches, 7 inches, 7 1/8. And the blade, 2.75. All right, the original one, 9 1/8. Blade, 3.5. 9 inches for the second generation. 3.5 for the blade. These are all the same size as this one. 9 inches, 3.5 blade, 9 inches, 9 inches, 3.5 inch blade. That's how much things weigh. Okay, there we go. .3 ounces for the Goldeneye. 4.3 ounces. For the Con, 2.5 ounces. Ooh, that's beautiful lightweight. For the Airlight, 3.1 ounces. That's awesome too. That's a big knife for a 3.1 ounce knife. That's a really nice sized knife. I wish they'd just make a pocket clip different because I really like this knife. I just don't like the pocket clip. Because I don't like stuff that makes, obvious what I'm doing or what I'm carrying in my pocket. This is me, people. I have a lot of other choices that don't have a big bogus pocket clip, so I won't carry it. 3.1 ounces. Now that's super awesome for this knife. But I wouldn't call it a great fighter or something like that, though, but it is a great utility knife, and it could be a self-defense knife if you need to be. The reason why I wouldn't call it a great fighter because the handle is super thin and slim, and it just doesn't have like the full kind of grip that I like for a knife that's going to be used for a self-defense folder. I like to have a little bit better, a little bit more girth to the handle, so I have a better grip. Because this feels like it could be pulled out my hand. If I got in an altercation with somebody and they grab this knife from me, now they got the weapon. So that doesn't work for me. But I do like this knife though. I think it's a great utility knife. I've always liked the Mustang pattern knives. I have a very big collection of them from lots of different makers, like the original makers of them. That, as far as I know, is like Charade back in the old days. Anyway, let's get back to weighing things. Here we go with the original style aluminum handled AK-47 with the crossbar lock. 7.0 ounces. It's probably the reason why I didn't carry it. It's a lot of weight for a knife. This one's 6.5 ounces with the G10 scale. It's a little bit lighter than the aluminum one. It always goes that way. The metal handles always weigh more than the G10. To me, I prefer G10 over the aluminum, and because I like the grip and I like the way it feels warm. Doesn't have that cold feeling in your hand when you first pick it up. And it's like when they give it a nice pattern like this, it has a really good grip. This knife I would feel confident using as a self-defense folder because I feel like I can really hold on to it. All right, let's see how much it weighs. 5.3 ounces. That's why I carried this one, because I like 5-ounce knives. 4.5 to about 5.5 ounces. That's my sweet spot. That's the area I really like. A knife makes me feel like it's a good self-defense tool. I don't know, just the added weight or something gives it to me like a little bit more self-confidence, more confidence in the knife. Okay, that was the Oz 8 one, 5.3, right? Yep. This was the one I carried. The way it's saying. Yep, they both weigh 5.3. All right. This is the newer one with the CTS XHP. It's not the newest one though. I'm pretty sure the newest one has S35EN. 5.3 weighs the same. That goes to show you that they made them the same way. This one says 5.2, same thing. It's probably almost 5.3 or whatever, probably real close. All right, the American Lawman, the original version with the Oz 8. 4.6. Got in the sweet spot. 4.6. Now they went to the thin scales with this this one has the S35VN, but I'm gonna let it represent for the hollow ground one I have with the CTS XHP blade also. 4.2 ounces. A little bit lighter, that's still a good weight though. 3.5. 3.5 for the mini Lawman. Or the small Lawman. I don't know if they called it mini. They might have called it the mini. Not mini Lawman, but Recon 1. I'm sorry. Recon 1. 3.5 for the Oz 8 Recon 1. Mini Recon 1. This is the newer version with the G10 scales, the thinner G10 scales, CTS XHP blade. 3.2 ounces. This was a sweet little knife. And they're still making these. I think they just make them with the Oz 10A though. They don't make them with the higher end steels no more. 2.4 for the mini AK. And this was a great little knife. This one and the mini Lawman. The mini Lawman is actually my favorite little knife because I like the way the grip's made. All right, people. Well, there they are, Zachary. I hope you get to enjoy this, buddy. I hope you see it. Those are my AKs, the AKs I was telling you about that I had. The newest ones I have are the CTS-6HP, the second generation Oz 8s, and the first generation Oz 8s also. But they had the crossbar lock. I can't. I can't remember the name of that lock. They had a name for it because Colt still had their own name for the crossbar lock. They didn't call it like an access lock or something. They had their own name for it. And I can't remember what the name was. I never took one of these apart. And it feels like it has bronze phosphor bushings. It doesn't have, I don't think it has bearings. Because people weren't using bearings back in these days. So I'm pretty sure it's a bronze phosphor bearing, just like they use in all the other knives. Not, or washer, should I say. Phosphor bronze washer. It's a really good knife, though. Mine's rock solid. Rock solid. They're both rock solid. But they're both like new knives, too. I know they're probably like 20 years old almost, but they're still like brand new knives because they never were carried or used. All right, people. That's about all I got for you today. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Peace. Stiletto. Hope you enjoy, Zachary. Peace.